welcome to Preferably Biased. We have another episode. My name is Ryan Grimes.
I'm Parker Brown.
And we've had some interesting shit happen in the last couple hours. The Mueller report's out, boy!
It's finally out.
It's finally out. Oh my god.
And supposedly, jack shit.
Yeah,
supposedly nothing in it.
Not a single thing, man.
Which I read, some people said they're handing over to the Department of Justice, so they might prosecute Trump, but looks like probably.
I mean, if there's nothing to it, first of all, so it said there's no indictments that are coming up after any of this. It said specifically that Trump never got involved and tried to prevent anything, that's probably the biggest thing that I can see in it, because it's been months, almost years, pretty much, of them talking about Trump getting involved and affecting the investigation in a negative way, which is crazy that's on the mainstream media, and people across the country now just have that in their heads, even though it was bullshit the whole time. But yeah, man, big nothing burger. I cannot believe it.
I kind of expected it after what's his face's testimony. What's his name?
Cohen, when he didn't have anything in the Cohen reports.
No.
Who
just testified? I can't remember his name. We watched it on the last episode.
Yeah, Michael Cohen.
Yeah, was that Michael Cohen?
Yeah.
Sorry. When he didn't have anything.
Yeah, when he came out and said that he had no evidence on the
no
any
evidence
collusion
on the Russia,
or anything like that.
Well, tax fraud, little bit.
Well, don't get me wrong. All these people are gonna have tax fraud. That's the fucked up part about it. And you get in this situation where it's like you get stuck in your own little hole on one side, and it's just like. Yeah, so he has all this tax fraud, and then now you're stuck defending a guy. Well, it wasn't the collusion. So fuck off. So realistically, people should be going to jail for the tax fraud too.
Yeah.
But because people like Hillary Clinton don't go to jail with all the shit that she did,
we got to talk about that because there's, I don't know if you have a clip for it, but the House passed a non-binding resolution to release the Mueller report. 420 blazing. To 0.
I'm assuming that was the amount of votes. That's the amount of.
Yeah, it's 420, buddy.
Okay, that's funny.
It's a signal. They're gonna legalize weed next. But then, check this out. The one dude, Lindsey Graham.
Oh, do not even start to say my boy Lindsey Graham.
I almost did.
I'm glad you stopped that.
I don't even think he is a boy. He has with a name like Lindsey. Not name shaming.
Well,
sorry.
Lindsey Graham looks like the oldest 12-year-old on the planet.
Yeah,
I don't know why
right?
he looks the way he does.
He looks so weird. But he blocked it because he tried to get. This is my understanding. I don't really know how this works. I don't know how he blocked it.
Mm-hmm.
But Chuck Schumer tried to introduce it to Congress, and then Lindsey Graham wanted it released, but added on that there should be another investigation into Hillary Clinton for her emails.
See, that's the thing.
Which is hilarious,
dude. That's the thing, though. Everything's so like that's a legitimate thing to go after, because I think is all that shit with Hillary Clinton is bullshit. She should be in jail if other people have gone to jail for the same crime.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that part, but
everything's got to be so petty. When it comes to the government here, it's just like, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna have this thing, but want to add this last minute when no one says anything.
Yeah.
Just like with what was that one bill? The anti-BDS bill a little while back with Marco Rubio. What's
BDS?
The one that gives states more power to boycott those who are boycotting Israel.
Oh, yeah, fuck
things.
that.
Yeah, so it's complete bullshit legislation. But even though that legislation is complete bullshit, right before it got put on the thing, what is it, Mitch McConnell from Kentucky? Mm-hmm. He goes and puts a little thing, just an amendment into it that prevented us from using some funds to have the removal process of our military action in Syria. Just last minute, like right before it went on.
So we can't... So it got rid of money to get troops out of Syria?
Yeah, or it prevented the withdrawal. If the president wanted to have a withdrawal, Congress was sitting there going no, which is hilarious because Congress gave up their power to fucking start wars, but now they're gonna try to keep their power so we can't end the wars.
Exactly.
So I don't understand it, man.
Which is
it's
crazy.
so dumb. Well, it's not dumb. It's people in the military-industrial complex paying these people in lobbying firms.
Yeah.
But
Don't mess with them. Don't mess with them. Don't mess with Jews. And
you
their
can't.
super PACs.
Yeah, you can't mess with the super
or
PACs.
Israelis. Sorry, I shouldn't
Yeah,
say
you can't.
Jews, but,
You can't mess with that. Was it APAC or something like that?
Yeah, the IAPAC or whatever.
I don't know what it is.
Omar Khan getting roasted for nothing.
Just for.
And it just shows. It just shows how much power there is.
And it's a legitimate criticism.
Yeah.
And I've seen people online talking about the fact that she's a Muslim, that you can't take that criticism legitimately because they say that she's anti-Semitic due to her Muslim.
She's not anti-Semitic.
Right, exactly. But a lot of these people are just saying that due to the Muslim shit. It's like, even if she was, this is a legitimate criticism. Can you look past that and view how fucked up this is?
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't.
That'd be like saying like all conservatives, like they just hate gay people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. Like no, it's
pretty few. Well,
I'm liking these. I'm liking these new. I'm starting to like these new women, like Congress people more. Like Omar Khan, AOC. Like I don't agree with all of their stuff, but like they seem to have kind of a backbone. You know what I mean?
I guess.
They got some balls, Ryan Grimes.
Right.
They got some balls.
I don't like their rhetoric, and because all their shit is increasing government influence in things, and that's what really bugs me. So I immediately just think that they're moronic and want them to leave. But they were sitting there going like, "Hey, we want to take some of these regulations away," and then still said the things about like not oppressing people and everything. I'll be all for it. But cannot get down with their economic plans in the slightest.
I agree with that, but if there's gonna be someone on the left, I'm glad that it's them. You know what I mean? Like, it's better than some sleazeballs.
If you're gonna get somebody on the left, like, what's that one woman? Can't remember her name. MSNBC keeps going at her because she's anti-war, and they keep trying to smear the shit out of her.
Oh, the presidential candidate?
Yeah, she's
from Hawaii. Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yep, that's the one. That I like her, even though I'm not big into the whole Democratic Party. That's one person in the Democratic Party I could actually sit there and be like, okay.
She seems like a reasonable person.
Right.
It just sucks that she has 0 chance of winning the primary.
yeah, because she's just gonna keep getting smeared by the mainstream media nonstop.
Well, people keep talking about her like she's from Hawaii. She's not.
What's wrong with Hawaii?
What's wrong? It's like basically a vacation state.
That's all it is, really. But I'm just talking about like people from Hawaii. Why is that automatically? Because they're so far away from everyone else?
It's like having like this is me trying to be funny too. This is what I actually believe. But it's like
I'm glad you preference every time you want to be funny with the I'm gonna be funny now. I'm gonna do that.
Employers, this is a character also called Parker Brown that I'm playing right now. I don't actually dress like this, but
he does.
But it would be like
he dresses like this all the time.
It would be like if you elected like the partier at like a frat to be like the student government like president. You know what I mean?
I do not.
Like they're fun to hang out with, but you don't want them running shit. You know?
Just because it's Hawaii, like. Okay. Well. But yeah, here's a clip we got from Vice News, talking about 6 minutes long, talking about the Mueller report. We're just going to comment on this. It's very interesting. I mean, it somehow brings Ray Rice into this.
Will we ever see Robert Mueller's report?
We are in the Mueller report season now.
Mueller is coming.
Is this Mueller report coming to an end? The Mueller report.
Is there a smoking gun?
High alert for the Mueller report.
Will we, the American people, ever see Robert Mueller's report?
Special counsel Robert Mueller's report could drop at any moment.
Do you think this delay is a sign that Mueller is still working on the report?
President Trump calling for an end to the Mueller probe.
Bob Mueller.
Robert Swan Mueller III.
Robert Swan.
I didn't know his middle name was
Mueller
Swan.
III. That sounds like a pirate name for some reason.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like his name's Robert Swan Mueller III,
the greatest pirate in the Pacific.
Dun, 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 dun.
Are you doing the Pirates of the Caribbean?
It's here. Today's the day. The thing you, me, these cameramen sitting outside the special counsel's office and the world have been waiting for. Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election is finished. Late this afternoon, the Department of Justice informed us that the report, yes, that report, has been delivered to Attorney General William Barr. Now, this is the part where you think I would tell you what's in it, but the delivery of the report isn't the same as the public release of the report. As of this evening, Trump himself hadn't seen it. Congressional Democrats and some Republicans immediately called for the full report to be made public. But how much of the report itself will ever be released remains a mystery, at least until the leaks start. And the letter Barr sent to Congress today is actually all he has to do. He covered the things the special counsel statute requires him to say, that the investigation is concluded and that there was never an instance where Mueller tried to do something so inappropriate that the DOJ refused to let him.
That's a really roundabout way of saying Trump never interfered with the investigation.
Yeah,
Like
pretty
that's
much.
extremely roundabout.
I'm gonna look up. I know you can't do it on your thing, but I just want to look up Big T's Twitter real quick.
Big T's? What is that?
Donald Trump.
Oh,
Sorry,
my bad. I didn't know you had a nickname.
Congress, state and federal prosecutors in New York, and others will continue their investigations. Reportedly, Mueller will not file any more indictments, but that doesn't mean there aren't still some sealed indictments from Mueller's team that have been filed, but not posted publicly. As for Trump himself, he's at Mar-a-Lago with the White House lawyers. We'll find out sooner or later whether Mueller...
That's interesting. That little concept right there. That possibly the indictments have already been made and not made public yet. So technically you could be like, oh, there's no more indictments. I think it might be a stretch. And
Yeah.
people trying to
Well, supposedly there's policy in Robert Mueller's department to not indict a sitting president. That will be the Department of Justice.
I've heard-
have to do that.
I've heard that, but you would indict all the other people around him though in the
Yeah,
process.
Well,
So
they got a lot of fucking people.
they didn't invite anybody. They didn't indict anybody on anything related to collusion, like you were saying. It's all
Yeah.
tax fraud
Mhm.
and corruption, shit like that. Which I mean, go right ahead. But and then I'm falling back in that trap again, where it's like it's not the stuff that you all were like, not you all, but the people were claiming with this. That's been the sole thing on the news for like 2 years. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't report anything on the Syrian conflict that we got going on in there or anything. We just talk about this shit all the time and a bunch of like what ifs,
Mueller
and it gets
report.
super
Well,
annoying.
because it gets people on the left like hot and bothered.
You know how many
You know,
times?
like people on the left wanted. They thought this was gonna be the kill shot. They
Yeah.
thought this was gonna be their way out of a Donald Trump presidency, which I understand. I totally understand that.
Right. The sheer amount of times on the news the past 2 years that I've heard, if this is true,
Oh yeah,
if you know what, if this happens, and then this could possibly happen.
Yeah, there
Like,
was
this
a
isn't
ton
even the
of
news anymore.
speculation. Everyone was trying to like divine from tea leaves like what Robert Mueller actually was doing. Like people would be like, "Well, he got 2 cups of coffee today, so that means he's working on something big.
He's got
And
a
you're
late night."
Yeah, and it came out, and as of right now, all signs point to
Bullshit.
he's getting off. He's home free. He's not completely home free, but that's what it's looking like is gonna happen, which is crazy. That means, like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna try and get him on something else.
Well, I think they're going to do a lot of those things. Like, the news is just going to be this now. It's like, hey, well, not all the indictments could be public.
Yeah,
Like, it's just going to be that for the next couple
But I mean-
months. And then people are
Yeah.
going to get that little rage boner again.
but after that's gone, what do they what
the
are they
2020
gonna
the
grasp at?
2020 election. So they'll bring this up until like the end of summer
Yeah.
and keep it going. And then by the end of summer, this will be done. You won't ever hear about it again. And they'll just be on to the 2020 election.
I feel like every time you say the 2020 election, we need like an air horn, like 2020. I'm so ready.
Dude, I can't wait to
I
go.
can't
I can't wait to
wait.
go to debates and like interview people.
I just want to watch the news all day.
Right?
Every day. Donald Trump slam dunks a basketball over cardboard cutout of Tulsi Gabbard. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be the craziest stuff.
I could see him doing that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
thinks the president broke the law, setting up the impeachment fight so many people are hoping for. So, yeah, we are mostly still guessing, which weirdly made me think that now would be a good moment to take a look at the last Mueller report. You may not remember this, but in 2014, Robert Mueller was hired by the NFL to investigate the matter of Ray Rice, the Baltimore Ravens running back who brutally beat his fiancée in a casino elevator.
See that? I had no clue he was involved in the Ray Rice stuff ever.
Well, also, I definitely don't condone hitting women. Like, the Ray Rice thing was a little bit more complicated than that. Like, she threw punches at him, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't... I mean, you get the FBI investigator involved. She's probably going to explain why. Let's check it out.
Obviously, Ray Rice isn't Donald Trump, and the facts of these cases have nothing in common.
Really?
But if you want to know how Mueller thinks and what to expect from his report on Trump, you could do a lot worse than reading this surprisingly brisk 100-page report. Now, the NFL hired Mueller to answer just two questions. Did any league employee watch or receive the video showing Ray Rice?
To write 100 pages
on Ray Rice punching his wife or girlfriend?
With a video? Can you just say watch the video?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, we see it.
Yeah,
he did it.
Beat the shit out of a girl.
It's just 100.
Like,
it's just
put him in jail.
It's just 100 pages of like 28 size font, just like, yeah, he did it, it's on the video, just over and over and over again. Why did you get me involved in this?
We have concluded that he may or may not have hit his girlfriend, and you're just like, come on, Mueller.
Just sit there, Mueller's just sitting there, like, why every time that something happens in the NFL, you get me involved? Deflategate? I don't give a fuck about Tom Brady and that ball.
Well, that is a big step up from, maybe he was used to these slam dunks where there's a video of it. He's like, there's no video of Trump colluding with Russia, so
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, that's dumb, but continue.
Janae Palmer before it's released by TMZ in 2014, and what other evidence was obtained by, provided to, or available to the league in the course of its investigation as it tried to decide how to discipline Rice. What comes through immediately is that Mueller isn't a big topic sentence guy. He doesn't lead with some sort of sweeping conclusion or declare anything that stops you in your tracks. Instead, he moves slowly and thoroughly through the facts. But Mueller's not just thorough, he's conspicuously thorough, like a mathlete who just has to show you her work.
To have the word thorough, just, he's always thorough. Check it out. That just seems weird.
I thought they were talking about the poet.
The poet? What's the poet?
Henry David Thoreau.
See, I'm not cultured like that.
Or he was a novelist. I don't know.
Oh, it appears neither are you. You're not cultured like that.
Yeah, I'm uncultured.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
Mueller writes in this that his team interviewed Roger Goodell and 50 NFL employees to try to figure out if anyone had seen the video before TMZ posted it. They collected millions of documents, emails, and texts. They looked for the digital signatures of the video on hundreds of computers to try to get to the bottom of an Associated Press story that claimed someone within the NFL acknowledged receipt of the elevator video in a voicemail months before TMZ posted it. They created a database of 1,583 calls placed from the NFL's main numbers. They traced nearly 1,000 of those calls by hand to try to figure out who left the voicemail. They never actually solved that puzzle. The second big takeaway is that Mueller pretty much stayed within the confines of the investigation. His focus on the two questions of who had access to the video and what other evidence the league had with respect to Rice's conduct were pretty much the entirety of the report. This is crucial to what we may see in the special counsel's report. Remember, Rod Rosenstein's assignment to Mueller was to conduct a, quote, full and thorough investigation of the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. There's a lot you could look into with Donald Trump, but just as we've seen Mueller farm out non-Russia related criminal matters to the Southern District of New York, we should expect his report to be very, very focused on election-related conduct. Third, Mueller's not afraid to name names. While the NFL was his client and it was agreed that the report would become public, Mueller doesn't pull punches. He even lists the things the league could have done if it really wanted to get to the bottom of what happened in that elevator.
The news is just going to be all this, like, what ifs and all this jazz. Just like, oh, this is the way you do it. We're talking about Ray Rice investigation now with this stuff.
I kind of like it. I think they're doing a good job of showing you characterizing Mueller as an investigator.
But it's like, just release it. Like, literally just let everyone read it. It's a huge...
They gotta release it.
And the funny thing is,
I was joking on Facebook that it's probably up on LimeWire already, but
oh really?
It's LimeWire anymore. So
is LimeWire still a thing?
I'm sure it's just. I'm pretty sure it's just all viruses.
Really?
There's no more music on there. It's just all.
You just go there, they'll fuck your life over.
Yeah, exactly. Did you ever do that? Did you ever brick a computer?
No, I follow the law.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't go to the high seas very often.
No, I paid iTunes $1 per
yeah, wasn't
song.
that crazy?
Yeah, $1 per song.
An album was like $12.
And now I just go on YouTube and find anything. Dude,
exactly.
At one time when I was real young, I must have been like 12. There's this 3 Day Grace song called the one that's like, "Let's start a riot." I wanted that song so bad, and I didn't have money because I was 12. So I had to say, "Mom, can you buy me this song?" And she listened to it and she goes, I don't know. She goes, it sounds so, I'm not going to get it because it just sounds like they're just going, let's start a riot. A riot. I was like, that's your stupid reason for not making me happy, Mom? What is this shit? And she bought me like another thing that I didn't want, like a Christmas song. Like, why do you like that?
Christmas song.
Like, it's July. Like, what are you doing, Mom?
My mom has a old ass iPod. I think it's dead now, but is from when we used to share an iTunes account, so it's all her like cheeseburger in paradise, and then every once in a while it'd be like the Scarface song I was listening to. It was like, every day it's in the same old thing on my block, and like this gangster rap, and she'd always like furiously like click the next one. She goes, oh no, let's not listen to that right now.
Right, your mom's constantly, that's hilarious. Like, yeah, I don't like it.
I think she has like a 17-minute long Rapper's Delight on there too.
Really?
That song is so long, like the real one.
Oh man,
it's crazy. All right.
Lastly, as we've seen with the so-called speaking indictments that have come out from the special counsel, the report is eminently readable. It's detailed but not jargony. It's thorough but not dull. So there's hope that if we ever actually see the special counsel report, and that remains a very big if, it'll be exactly what it should be. A document every citizen will be able to read, understand, and form opinions from.
I'll read those damn pages, Parker. That shit interests me. Like, I don't read books, but I'll read that. Like, if a book about economics or these kind of things, I can do.
If they come out with an audiobook of it, I'll listen.
Audiobook?
Yeah, audiobook.
That's what we should do. We should make an audiobook.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
My thing is, I'm just such a slow reader when it comes to out loud.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so unless I make like funny voices, that's how I compensate for how slow I read. I just sit there and try to make it like, well, and then they came out, and it's just like I can slow it down. No one thinks I'm like ridiculously slow.
Oh, yeah.
Even with today's delivery that actually reveals very little, the special counsel's report is the ultimate breaking news story, and the usual rules apply. We know far less today than we will tomorrow. And as we've been saying since May 17th, 2017, when Mueller got the job, speculation isn't fact. But we know some really important things already. The investigation led to the indictment of 34 people, including 25 Russians. Some of the president's closest advisors, Michael Cohen, Michael Flynn, Paul Manafort, are charged with crimes that carry jail time. And Russia made multiple attempts to sabotage our democracy.
They just said multiple things that were jail time, but have nothing to do with the whole Russian scandal. You know what I mean?
Wasn't Cohen's to do with the Russian stuff?
No, Cohen's was lying to Congress.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just in general.
Yeah.
All of them. It was like lying to Congress or tax fraud.
Okay, but 25 Russians had to do with the Russian collusion, though.
Yeah, I don't know about them. I didn't look that part up. I didn't hear that. But yeah, I had to look into the 25 Russians. Because that could just be, what if it's more tax fraud in Russians?
There's no such thing as tax fraud in Russia.
Oh, really? Really? What I know about Russia is that it's nothing but fraud. That's why they all have those dash cam cameras.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they constantly just try to get hit by each other's cars. It's like, no. I'm taking this to Putin.
I think you just pay your taxes directly to the mafia over there.
It's pretty bad.
You just hand them your like 1099, and they're like, all right, you owe 200 ruble.
I got a buddy that just married a chick from Russia. Is trying to bring her over
Really?
here. Yeah, and
Isn't that like a thing? Like, can't you like get paid to do that?
Well, she came over and worked over the summer.
Mhm.
Like, you know how a bunch of foreigners always come out and work in like beach
At
towns.
at Ocean City, there are always a bunch of Irish and Russian people there.
That's why I love working there during the summers.
That's awesome.
I'm glad I never had to work there a summer again, but I did enjoy it because you get to see all these other people, and all these other cultures are like ridiculously conservative.
Oh, really?
Like compared to ours, like they just no drugs. They like thrown in like they are super happy about people being thrown in jail for the drugs. Well, we're like, hey, this is kind of fucked up. We might want to think about the drug laws. They go, good. It's like it's bad. Marijuana is the devil's salad or whatever.
When I was on senior week, I got to hang out with a bunch of Irish people, and they had like a house,
right,
just full of Irish people. Dude, they went so hard. I couldn't even like come close to keeping up with them or whatever.
Dude,
they like drank so much.
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculous. I didn't believe it.
The last 3 summers, I've been able to find a group of Irish people, befriend them, and then try to like destroy my liver alongside. Oops. Oh, what is that?
So regardless of political sides, it's safe to call a report that tells us those facts a success.
All right. And then there's people like this. This guy's apparently a sitting congressperson. How do you think you pronounce that name?
Ted Lieu.
Ted Lieu? Just Lieu?
I think it's just Lieu. But...
Ted Lieu. Okay, so today is a historic, proud day for America, despite numerous attempts by the real Donald Trump to thwart the special counsel investigation. Robert Mueller and his team completed it. The fact that Mueller and Rod Rosenstein kept their jobs shows the strength of our democracy and institution. Now, this guy has a lot of followers. He's a congressperson in California who just immediately lied about the numerous attempts for the real Donald Trump to thwart the special. And you can see the thing that he's responding to down there. It's the
witch hunt.
Is Trump calling a witch hunt? People are literally out there with the logic that if he sits there and goes, yeah, this whole thing's bullshit, he's interfering with the investigation.
He did do some stuff.
Like what?
I think he tried to defund Mueller's. Like,
oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember. I don't remember, but I remember reading news stuff where he did some sketchy stuff where he was trying to hamper the investigation. Legal stuff.
Right.
Or he was asking questions. Like, people came out and were like, Donald Trump today asked if he could fire Robert Mueller. you know what I mean?
And,
It's
and people were like, Mr. Trump, no, that would definitely be bad.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Because I just wanted to know
what. My options.
I just want to know what I could do.
No, come on. Trump is not.
No, he's not a good guy.
He's not a good guy.
I'm just saying, these other people who are investigating him are bad people too. Like, they're all bad people.
Can we just go? Like, I still can't believe Lindsey Graham really tried to get another investigation into Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that guy doesn't give up on that.
Like, what the fuck?
The whole thing, I'm assuming,
is his state just like one big hatred of Hillary Clinton? Is he just trying to get reelected?
I think he's South Carolina.
Really?
North Carolina, maybe one of the Carolinas.
They probably care about the emails a lot.
Yeah. So his constituents are probably like, "Oh, look what I did!
Yeah,
check it out. Brought another one up. It's like 4 more years, or however many years, 2 more years. This is a ridiculous short amount of time that they have in office. 2 years, and then
Senators?
you got
Senators are 6 years.
Is it? Oh, I thought he was so he's a senator.
Yeah,
I thought
just
he was
the way that it's staggered every 2 years.
Right.
There's elections.
Because the other ones can be voted out every 2 years, which with the way that it's run now is they do like 6 months of shit that they want to do, and then the next year and a half is based on just trying to get reelected again.
Oh yeah, it's completely stupid and bro. That's why you need money out of it. Or what? I think what Australia does is they give you pay taxes and they give each party money, a certain amount of money. That's all they can spend for all their elections.
the government in Australia
Yeah.
takes taxpayer money and gives it out
To political parties.
to the
But it's
to
not like a
the
ton
government
of money.
of Australia. So they just give it back to the.
Well, no, they give it to like the Democrat, like the DNC, and they go, "This is all your money you can spend.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna give it to you, but you can't.
Gotcha.
This is all you can spend
Huh.
on advertising."
I wonder if that ever
Which
gets
is a pretty good idea. Australia has a pretty good. They have mandatory voting over there too.
You have to vote.
You have to vote or you get fined.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that don't vote that I'm super happy don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that do vote that I'm super unhappy do.
But I mean, a lot of people. I don't know. Not that Australia has the best government, but the voting system seems to work pretty well.
Well, I've heard voting systems, not down ballot voting. What's it called? I forget what it is, but the concept is you get to vote for a
I
guy.
think I told you about this.
You did? That was you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get to vote. So you know the whole thing. So you get to vote for a guy, and then if he doesn't win, you also get to vote like ranking system.
Yeah,
Who
it's a
else you would
ranking
like?
system.
Yeah.
So they do like if there are 10 candidates, they do 10 iterations. The person with the least amount of votes gets eliminated, and so if they were your first ranked, then it moves to your second ranked guy.
Right.
So what it allows you to do is to have you get to vote for who you really want to vote for without being scared that
You're
gonna
wasting
split the vote. You know what I mean?
Right. See, that's the perfect thing, because if you want to get like the Libertarian Party or the Green Party going, or any other party that's going on, that would be the way to do it, because you would show those votes and see. And here's the other thing: I don't care if they have only 5%, because you need what 5% of the vote in order to be eligible for the next like round of debates.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dumb as hell too. I think just have any party. That get a little risky because some parties are just like.
You have a Vermin Trout or whatever, the guy with the hat.
That'd be funny, but
it would be funny.
It would be bad.
Maybe we need to get away from funny for not after Trump. No more funny.
100 pages on.
It'll be the last entertaining election,
and then we need to actually talk about some issues. But 4 more years of just fucking around. And people being mad, like, just at everyone.
I really want to see what happens with him when there are all these things that are saying that China's economy is about to slow down. Not collapse, but their real GDP growth supposedly has slowed down a lot.
Well, I've seen articles where it's talking about they were lying for years about their economic growth, which
they've
people act surprised about the basically communist dictatorship over there lying about their economic growth.
I think it's not lying in that they do a bunch of useless stuff. Like they'll build 30 apartment complexes that no one lives in, but they can still add that to GDP.
Yeah, they're just like, look at it.
Even though it's not being used by anybody. Which I also heard they're starting to get used, but yeah, supposedly their economy is going to slow down, which is going to cause huge world economic implications.
Oh yeah, because everything's attached to getting their products from them. Like they're gonna
with Trump dealing with that. I think more tariffs.
That's all he's gonna do.
More tariffs.
We're gonna have tariffs, and we're gonna have people from here start these businesses.
I killed China. I did it.
They are done.
They're done.
Man,
I gotta bring some articles about the European economy too, because they're. A couple of their countries just went into a recession.
Well, Italy's been fucked for a while.
Italy's been fucked. Spain recovered though. Spain was worse than Italy, and they're actually back on track.
Well, Italy literally is doing a thing that I saw, where if you're a business owner and you got like a really big business, like you've made millions of dollars, they
go pay $100,000 and become a citizen.
Yeah, they go come in here, and that's like your only tax.
Yeah.
They don't even tax you. They tax you like $100,000 a year, I think, and they don't tax you anything else. And they're like, yeah, come on in. This is great. And then I think all their people are just like, this is bullshit. They go, do you want a job or not? They're like, this is push and pull. This is hard.
25% unemployment or whatever it is. Have you heard? This is a weird topic that I'm gonna bring up. Have you heard about Spain and the Catalan region?
No.
Catalonia.
No.
Basically, it's a part of it's like a very rich part of Spain that wants to become its own country. and there have been like riots and like
Oh,
fighting
really?
over them trying to secede from Spain.
Well, people don't like
First take, Ryan Grimes.
it. Me?
Should they secede?
They should. They should 100% secede. Fuck that. You don't like what's going on? That's just like with Washington. A few weeks ago we talked. I think we should separate the Washington state into two. If the people on one side of the state want to secede from the other because they're not getting the proper representation with their small population.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
that's another really hard debate in politics is how much power should be centralized. I know you probably are for
everything
a
at
very
the local
big
level.
Federalist where
Everything at the local level.
A lot of state
Yes.
power, but I don't know. It's a hard one.
Just like
like on the surface, I agree. Like they should be able to get their own state, but
like here's an example.
But only they shouldn't only because of the power imbalance it would cause in the Senate and the House.
Well, that's the only reason that they're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Because if they left, what's it going to do? It's going to, whatever...
Two more Republican senators.
Exactly. So then everyone's going to be like, I don't like that at all. But if it was the other way around, and the left-wingers in the state were trying to leave, you damn sure know that the right-wingers would be like, no, you got to stay. You got to stay with us because you guys are going to get more.
Yeah. I think that happened.
When
they were making a bunch of states, like when the West, like there was huge controversy on making things states. That's part of what led to the Civil War. Was
what's a state and what's not?
I think in making Ohio switched the
it's just
added two Democrat or not. They weren't Democrat at the time. Two left-leaning senators to the Senate, and the people in the South were like, "You got to stop making states because you're just grabbing power," you know.
But
and also slavery.
It's just amazing how everything's a power game. Like even the things that you're going like, oh, we have to like you think they're trying to help people. It's never to help you as the citizen. It's always to gain more power in the hands of the government and their party, or what can improve their chances of being the guy in power. And it's disgusting. And that's why I constantly despise a centralized government and anything just in general because it's corrupting.
It almost always tries to get more power.
Right. And that's my problem with socialism in general. When people go like, because feasibly, there's a lot. I didn't realize the exact amount that we spent on the welfare in general. If you look, pensions are over $1 trillion.
Yeah,
that's bad. I thought maybe welfare would be that. It's only welfare was like $400 billion, which is a lot of money. But
it's nothing compared to
that.
Other,
you could realistically pay for that shit.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you use that as a tool to. It's not like they care about these people. They just use as a tool to get more votes and get more power, and then these things aren't run properly.
It's a little bit that they care about people.
Very few people in there.
Things can have multiple motivations for doing them.
I like to think not.
I say we beef up Planned Parenthood. I want every woman should have birth control. That's my new thing. That'd probably be my first act if I was president.
I did the calculations for that because I heard you guys talking about it. It's like
it couldn't be over
$7 billion a year.
It's $7 billion a year
to give all the women of the appropriate age the birth control pill.
Well, that's at market rate too.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. That's not how you don't just sit there and get under market rate with that kind of stuff.
That's how it works in Europe.
You don't know that.
If the government has one contract,
see that's why.
Well, I'm sorry.
No,
actually,
when the government has one contract, you just get somebody that pays off a fucking politician, especially in our country.
You're right. In our country,
especially in our country. I don't know about the other ones, but if you go like, okay, we're gonna give it to one guy, everyone's just gonna be like, hey, well, I want to be the guy. They're gonna fill pockets up. And then we're not going to get the cheapest good with that. We're just going to get the guy who paid the most amount of money to be the one that gets making all the hips, like you said before.
Big birth control is controls
Big
everything.
Birth control is going to be controlling everything.
The birth control industrial complex is running the show.
And then now this other birth control company just paid off politicians. And they're the one big birth control thing.
I say still do it.
Then they start buying... I say still do it even though it's terrible. Come on, ladies.
I don't know.
But then they start buying off all the other ones because all the other companies are just like, yeah, well, we're fucked. Might as well just give in to this monopoly of birth control, which is a weird question a weird statement I never thought I'd say.
Disney just bought. Speaking of monopolies, Disney just purchased Fox Entertainment, not the news corporation. But...
Yeah, they purchased everything except for like Fox News and Fox Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think they need to be broken up? Are they getting too big? I feel like I don't know that about you. At what point do you break up? You're definitely against monopolies, right?
Well, here's my thing.
Do you agree that monopolies have to be broken up?
Here's my thing on that. In a theoretical free market, no. In a system where we have now, where people have created regulations to, like people have lobbied politicians to create regulations to limit their competition, that is perplexing to me because that limits the competition against that monopoly, and it's there artificially, and then you might have to break that up because it's so corrupt.
But with something like Standard Oil, like I think it was pretty free market, and they're pretty bad. Like there's certain government regulations that I think are very good, that I think you might even be able to be persuaded are good, that try to prevent monopolies. Like you can't do predatory pricing, which is like where if Walmart goes into a place, they kind of do it, but it's illegal on the books. You go into a town, right, and you have a ton of money. So you do is you undercut, you price things so low that you're losing money on them, right? So then everyone just comes to you, and all the other stores close down, and then you raise your prices again once there's no competition.
Well, here's the thing, though. Once you start raising your prices again, there's going to be investors who see those prices going up and they can make a profit in it, and more competition is going to come into the marketplace and come get you.
But but there's also friction to doing that. There's cost, a time cost. It's not immediate.
It's not a good strategy because by the time that you've taken this massive loss, I mean, it's not going to be 100% immediate. It's going to be less than a year.
Walmart literally does.
It's going to be but no, they don't. They just give a lower price. That's what they can afford to do.
There's literally been scandals of them selling things under cost.
Right.
They do it. The smartest people at Walmart think this is a good strategy.
But Walmart's on its way out with things like Amazon and all the e-commerce that's going on. I mean,
Walmart's still like the biggest company in the world.
It's not going to be around for the next 50 years.
I think it will.
It's going to be no one thought that all the other companies that Walmart put out were going to ever be out. I mean, it happens all the time. Every 20 years, someone's saying, "Oh, this company's never going to be gone," and then another one comes by and fucks it.
You still need a store that you can go to and get something immediately. Until Amazon gets 30-minute delivery.
Right.
Which I don't think they'll be able to do.
Well, I think they're going to be able to do that with the fact that if they keep moving all these warehouses all over the place.
They'll do it with drones?
No, I think they're just going to have warehouses in every single
neighborhood.
Every single neighborhood.
With every single product.
Yeah, they're going to be bringing you food, everything. I mean, and that's wonderful. That sounds pretty freaking good. I don't have to leave my house. I get this thing. It's a cheap price.
Yeah, but I like local businesses too, especially for food. Like going to a butcher for meat.
I mean, those still exist.
Awesome.
I understand.
Like no, they won't. Not if Amazon takes over all the way.
I'm telling you right now, I'd still go buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of people think like me, so.
A lot of people, I don't know.
I think it gets overblown how much all these companies are going to be out. You know what I mean?
But when you have something like Standard Oil, where there was literally one oil producer in America, and they raised their prices, they gouged their prices once they got rid of all their competition. Do you think that doesn't need any government regulation?
Well, what happened after that?
Are there more?
They broke them up?
Yeah.
I had to do more research into
Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah, look up Teddy I don't know if it was Teddy Roosevelt that broke them up, but the trust busting acts.
Yeah, well, my understanding was a lot of that stuff back in the day with that, like, they had already began to lose market share to other companies that started up before the lawsuits because it takes years for those lawsuits to go through.
Yeah.
Before the lawsuits even went through, they had already began losing market share, and that process started.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, so that's the things I like read on it. I'll bring that up for next week.
But what if someone had an actual complete monopoly on something?
Well, it depends.
What if
it depends.
Company,
Are they?
what if there's no possible, or
But
super high cost for competition.
But what's the monopoly, though? Is it because the government has these ridiculous regulations
Somebody-
going in that makes it harder for people to compete?
Right.
Or is it the fact that this guy he has a company that gives you the best quality product for the best quality price? That, I do not see a problem with that in the marketplace.
There are predatory practices that without regulation a company can do that limits competition. Do you agree?
Other than the predatory pricing things you're talking about, what else?
So, here, let me just give you a hypothetical. I just want to know if the government should get involved here, okay? Somebody owns all of the natural gas in the world.
Okay, has that ever even been close to happening?
Well, this is a hypothetical.
Well, I hate that kind of thing because you just because it's not a thing that's.
But it could happen. Someone could buy all of the land that has one resource.
Then in your stupid hypothetical,
the government should
fine. What the fuck ever. But it's not gonna happen like that.
Right,
I hate that shit.
There have been monopolies that have had to be broken up. Amazon's probably going to get broken up at some point.
Yeah, but do they have to be? Like, listen. Look,
yes!
Here's what I'll do.
Because it's happened time and time again where a company gets too big, they have too much power.
Here's what we'll do. We'll take time this next week, because we didn't prep on this being a topic today. Yeah. We'll prep, and you come with your debate next week on this. I'll come with my debate next week on this, and we'll discuss it.
We'll have
we'll read things and all
debate.
That. Yeah, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Because I'm not an encyclopedia, all this stuff. In 1922.
Well, I'm just vaguely remembering history class in high school or whatever.
See, that's your problem. Brainwashed.
Yeah, big education got to me. They want.
I mean, there's some problems with that kind of shit.
With what? Education?
Yeah, on teaching everyone the same thing on a federal level, making it a unified thing. Because we'll get into that another day. I'm a federalist when it comes to that too. I think your state should be.
Each state should run their education.
Mm-hmm. I think if we have a Medicare for all thing, each state should run their own Medicare for all and all that kind of jazz.
That wouldn't be bad. I agree with that. That if it was on a state level and some states opted out of it, it's just the bigger your pool is for healthcare, the more feasible it becomes. That's the only thing with that. An insurance company doesn't work with 3 people.
Right. Yeah.
You need
unless it's the 3 most healthy people in the world.
And in which case, why are they getting insurance?
Yeah, you're just sitting there I think you guys are dumb. Why are you even doing this? All right.
Husband of Betty, the love of my life.
Yeah, this is the same
you
California guy that we're talking about.
I mean, you have to be decently smart to get into there.
I'm not knocking him for the Air Force stuff. I'm knocking him for this.
Also, I don't take orders from Vladimir Putin.
Don't take orders from Vladimir
Putin. Edgelord over here.
That's in his Twitter bio. It's really, dude?
What a fuckhead.
And this guy runs shit in California.
That's what a petty 17-year-old girl would have in their Twitter bio if they were a senator.
Yeah.
Don't take orders from Vladimir Putin. Unlike somebody I know. What a passive aggressive.
And then tag him at real Donald Trump.
No, you don't tag him. You just passive aggressive about it.
Oh, you do that?
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Gotcha. It's like when you make a Facebook post, you're like, one of my friends, not gonna say who, crashed their car into a tree, and everyone knows which one crashed their car into the tree.
Jessica recently crashed her car. Yeah. Okay, so here's another story that I found extremely interesting. Maryland has recently made it legal for assisted suicide, which I'm a big proponent of. Mm-hmm. We'll get into this video real quick and then make some comments on it.
For many years, I opposed this bill. In 2014, my mother was diagnosed with stage 3B esophageal cancer. Despite the best efforts of her doctors, the pain became unmanageable. A few days before she died, I walked into the kitchen, and she had taken the bottle of liquid morphine that had been prescribed to her, and she tried to drink it to end it. And we took her to the hospital, and the doctor sat us down and said, there wasn't even enough morphine in that bottle to end her life. She, about a day after that, went into final, coma, and died 2 days after that. And in reflecting on that, despite my personal hatred for suicide, I began to ask myself what right I had as a government official, and even as her son, to dictate to her how her life should end.
But this option, I fear, is not good for humanity. It would take our state in the wrong direction. And for those reasons, and frankly more, while I respect the intent, my conscience just will not let me vote for this.
I feel like this sort of debate gets done where you start supporting it the second that someone in your family has to go through that terrible thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was talking about, we were at a conference the other week, and this woman was getting up talking about end of life care, and I was very interested because I just saw that this got passed. So I wanted to ask a question on that. I was like, what's your opinion on the morality and legality of something like this? And she didn't really give an answer. Yeah. And it was funny because she kind of sidestepped it. And then later, when we all came back from lunch, she comes up to me and she goes, like, "Is everything all right?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna kill myself, lady. Like, what are you doing?"
I think there has to be some strict rules for it though. Like other places, I think Canada has assisted suicide, which is, and there's a process for it. I think you have to be in your right mind, of sound mind and body.
It's like you can't have like Alzheimer's.
Well, which is weird. You know what I mean? A lot of the people that would probably want this aren't of sound mind and body. You know what I mean? Well, it's kind of like if you're sane enough to answer it's almost a catch-22. But it's that, and then you have to like affirm it like 3 times in a row, and I think there's a time delay too. Like they give you like 6 hours or something to say no.
Well, here's my thing. Have you seen the clinical trials of these people's Alzheimer's where they take music and that they liked in the past, they play that music and the person starts like coming out of the slump.
Oh, really?
And for like a half an hour, they're back in their solid mind, and then they slowly just kind of fall back into it.
Oh, that's so sad.
During that time is when you should, hey, guess what's gonna happen, Frank?
God.
You're going back.
Oh, God.
You'd be like, yeah, kill me, please. Yeah, I want to die. I would do that, man. If I'm gonna go back and lose my mind like that, and
Fuck that. I don't want to get old at all.
Like, I'm just gonna kill myself tomorrow. I'm not trying to get old.
Well, that actually is part of the debate. Is you have a bunch of people that are young, that are depressed, that also want to commit suicide.
Yeah, well, you have to kill yourself on your own like an adult. That's what I say.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
No,
it's just for the people that can't. Their hands are shaking, so they can't get all the pills in their mouth.
Like you can't.
God, that's horrible.
It's assisted because you can't do it yourself. We're not gonna have a system where we come in and people go like, "Hey, I'm out."
Yeah,
give me with the
Futurama where they have the suicide booth. Or
oh
whatever.
yeah.
But that is a big problem. Is if you make it, like, do you put an age requirement on it, or are you just gonna have 22, 23-year-olds?
I'm not feeling very good today.
Coming into the hospital and like just fucking kill me.
Like no.
Nah, not that suicide is something to make.
Yeah, we're not.
But it is.
You can make fun of it. Yeah. But not.
But we should at least say
right. It's fucked up. It's very fucked up. But you can still make those things funny.
Yeah.
Like my hilarious bit I just had a little bit. No. But like with the Futurama thing, like that's some way that you could successfully make fun of that. You know
yeah. Where you put a quarter in, like you got to pay for it.
And Bender still cheats.
Yeah. But I definitely think it should be allowed. I've watched people, my granddad was a pretty slow burn for a little bit.
Oh, was he?
Which is it's just horrible.
Well, I see people in the hospital that are gonna die all the time. Like there's no hope.
Yeah.
There's this. If I'm in some terrible state and it's terminal with terminal cancers and things like that you can't cure.
Yeah.
I don't want my family. I want to make my meetings with my family. Hey, come on in, see Granddad before I start
goodbye.
Before I start looking like crap, and then you remember me looking like crap
that's
instead of. And that's how I don't want. So it's just like, hey, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna be strong for my family. They're gonna come in. I'm gonna try to make them feel all right with this, and then kill me.
Then kill you. Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. Or send me out on a ton of morphine. Just get me going, and then
right?
Stab you?
Yeah. Stab.
You gotta make it fun. If you're gonna have it, you might as well make it fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Like get them on tons of morphine, knock them out, and then have someone practice their jujitsu on them or whatever.
Just cut their head off. It's just
you
like,
cut
how you
their
doing?
head off.
Sling.
That's horrible. We're horrible people.
Whoa.
But definitely you need it. Like I don't want to be fucking old. And also I think it would let people put that in their will too. Like I would love to put in my will if I get a certain amount of Alzheimer's, just kill me.
Yeah,
like,
if
I don't want that.
If I can't remember, like my great,
and it's so expensive too. That's the other thing. Is keeping those people alive.
It gets expensive.
When they're gonna they're gonna fucking die.
Right.
Keeping them alive for a week costs thousands and thousands of dollars.
Right.
Those resources could be going
towards something else.
Towards other
and that's
things.
a hard debate to have because everyone thinks that that's cold, but in the aspect of the thing, especially if we're gonna be pushed through things like Medicare for all and all that, you can't pay for all that. You have to. There's
It's
some
hard.
points and things that you have to know what you can't pay for.
When you look at how much care is for people at very
the
high
end of their
ages,
lives,
you kind of have to think like, are we gonna? It would be definitely more feasible if we put a time limit on it. Like, say you get to 90. We're not gonna kill you. We're not gonna kill you.
We
but
stab you in the chest, Last Parker.
It's like Batman. Like, I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save your life or whatever, which is basically killing them. You know what I mean?
That's so weird, though.
It's
uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, but we have to do it at some point. Like, it's gonna get to be too much when medicine gets too good, but it's gonna still be super expensive. You're gonna have people that can live to 200 if you pay $7 billion per person. You know what I mean?
Right.
And at some point, you do have to choose, like, money over life.
That's
you know what I
why-
mean? Because money is resources that could go to other things.
That's why you just open up the industry and let the free market work, Parker. No. Eventually. You know how toasters used to be expensive?
Did they?
Oh, here's an example.
I've never bought a toaster.
Well, toasters used to be hell of expensive. People didn't have toasters or like
Really?
microwaves or stuff like
Microwaves,
that.
I know
That's
used to be
what I
very
meant to say. But you know what? Early microwaves blew up, and guess who died? Rich people who had the microwave. Guess who didn't die? My broke ass.
Bourgeoisie.
Yeah, and
Kill them.
now because the rich people had the funds to buy these things when they were a crazy price, those people got the capital, and other people got into that. Other people got into that market. They make that dough, and that brought the competition in.
And guess what the name of the
the price went down over time.
Guess who the inventor of the microwave was? Joseph Stalin.
Was it?
Yeah, he's trying to kill the filthy
That's
capitalist
That's
pigs.
not true. That can't be true.
He killed the filthy capitalist pigs that could afford microwaves.
I saw a thing the other day.
Microwaves are so cheap now too. You can get one for like $20.
Yeah, it's what I've been trying to say the whole time, Parker. Microwaves are like healthcare.
But no, it's
like
not
MRIs.
like healthcare.
Check it. What if you could just? If there were just MRI companies that you just go there and they don't take insurance, they just pay cash. Eventually, if they were making a lot of money on that, other people would try to get MRI machines to make money too.
The cost is so high because of the legal implications. Like, what if you give someone an MRI and you do it a little bit wrong? You know what I mean?
You sign a waiver.
Like, I fuck up at
sign a waiver.
You can't waive away.
It's like a jet ski. It's like a jet ski
waive
ride.
Away liability, right?
It's like a jet ski ride. Stay away from the coral reef over here. It's bad, but sign this in case.
But if you get on even if you sign a waiver and you get on a jet ski and the jet ski blows up, you still get to sue the people.
All right.
You can't waive away liability. It's a legal principle. My dad always said.
I wouldn't sign that waiver if it said, okay, well, if this jet ski blows up.
Well, the waiver says we are not responsible to any damage done to you or your personal thing, which would include. We don't say the jet ski blowing up, but.
We'd have a legal battle. We'd have a legal battle.
Jet skis versus Ryan Grimes.
Yeah.
Landmark case.
I'm sick of this.
You're arguing that they don't have to pay you like this big government regulation. I won't have it.
I saw this.
They shouldn't have to pay me anything.
I saw this thing recently. It goes, billionaire dies on operating table trying to get penis enlargement.
What?
Yeah.
Hey.
You got real excited about that, Parker.
Yeah, until I remembered he's a billionaire. I was like, it probably cost him most of his fortune.
Right.
And he died.
But that's my thing with that is, and I'm not saying any of us need that surgery if it comes down in price. Right, Parker? Yeah? Oh, sorry.
Tiny hands.
Nah, tiny hands. But That's another thing, like with the microwaves.
Yeah.
People be paying for them big dicks.
and a couple of them die.
A couple of them die, but they're rich.
Die.
But they're rich, so who gives a fuck? Like, you know what I mean? And then
Alright,
the
that
rest
would be
of
great
us,
in 50 years, like big, like instead of big pharma, big dick. Yeah.
Now I'm walking around with my dick over my shoulder. Like, oh yeah, this is good.
Oh yeah.
$20.
Yeah.
It was $20 for this hog.
But do you think if you're a billionaire and you like went to a doctor and you're like, I want a bigger dick, and they're like, it can't be done, it's dangerous surgery. You just slide them
throw
cool
$1
billion over there. They're like, all right, get me some orangutans. We gotta try this out real quick.
It's like you don't even care if you don't even care if you lose your medical license.
yeah,
like, I have $1 billion
He's
now.
putting like a rubber duck in. He's like, no, he's putting in like styrofoam or something.
Just doctor's sitting there shaking his head like, no. All right, bring in the styrofoam. No. Anybody got a balloon? Balloon?
The doctor's like, this billion is nice, but we need a replacement.
Nah, he's bleeding out. Fuck. What do we do?
Wouldn't that be crazy if you like if a girl was having sex with like a billionaire and their dick was just a completely different from a completely different person?
Well, here's a question.
Just gigantic.
What would you take? Would you take a 4-inch penis
Mm-hmm.
and being a billionaire?
Yeah.
Or, like a nice 6.5er
Mm-hmm.
and just make basic wages, like
billionaire.
average. Billionaire?
Yeah, because I can get the dick enlargement surgery. We know the mistakes.
But you could die.
Huh?
You might die doing it.
I don't
You're
want
this guy.
I'm not going to live with a 4-inch penis, Ryan Grimes.
But no, I would take that.
I have enough trouble as it is right now. No, I'm just kidding.
I would take the billionaire too, because at the very least, someone gets mad at you about the 4-inch penis. You'd be like, hey, how about you get off my yacht?
You can spend $1 billion too to find a girl that likes guys with 4-inch dicks.
Oh
too.
yeah, or just really, really tiny people. Get one that's 4'11". That way, it's not technically like a midget person. And
hey, why do you think all my girlfriends have been like 5 feet tall?
I like women who are that short.
Yeah.
It's very.
Well, for me, it sucks because I'm not taller than most of them. I'm the average.
How
height.
tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
5 foot. That's
and 3/4.
Is that the average height?
Well, the average height for a woman is 5'7".
What's the average height for men?
5'10", I think.
I don't think that's true. I thought average height was like 5'8", something like that.
No, not for in the United States.
You just watch too much watch too much basketball. You think that you watch too much basketball. You think everyone's like.
No, 5'10" isn't that tall.
I'm 5.
Think about it. If you're 6 foot,
I'm 5'11" and 5'8".
If you're 6 feet tall, you're tall, which still makes sense if the average is 5'10".
Right. Let's see.
Or that's what it was. It might be bigger now actually, because that's what it was when I was like growing up. So people might be getting taller because of nutrition or something.
Having 74 votes in the affirmative, 66 in the negative, House Bill 399 receiving a constitutional majority is declared passed.
Dude, the guy who was reading that off sounded like he needed assisted suicide.
That's horrible.
He thought he seemed like he wasn't gonna make it. He's literally got passed. He got the thing put in his arm and starts reading off how it got passed. That's
Also, how
terrible.
does someone not put an H at the end of yay to make it say yeah or whatever?
Wait, what? Is it like
Go
that?
back. I would definitely do that on my first day. Just put an H at the end. Yeah. 74 people say yeah.
Yeah.
66 people say yay and nay sounds like it's made up.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
does.
Do you think it'd be like affirmative, like in dissent? It would be something really like complicated, but no, it's just yeah, nah. It's like like the least amount of sound you can make.
What they should do is your idea with the H.
Yeah.
Put it at the end of the and go yeah, and then they should just get rid of the Y. So nah. Next. Oh.
Isn't it weird? This looks like they don't have this for Congress, right? Like they don't have this board. They just call the roll most of the time, right?
Oh, I don't
like
know.
at the Maryland State Legislature, you have buttons you can press.
I think they do have that at Congress.
Okay, never mind.
All right.
I suppose there's a donut button too. That you tell someone to go get you a donut.
Where'd you read that?
Reddit. That's what.
Just on Reddit.
No, like there's this guy that used to come to our elementary school. I forget his name. He's a person in the Maryland Congress, and he would tell us all about it. And he gave us a tour one time. I don't remember his name, huh?
How old were you?
Like 7.
Yeah, he lied. That's what you tell 7-year-olds.
No.
Yeah,
He showed us.
there's a donut
showed
button.
us the
we
button.
we get a donut button.
Probably.
And now you're sitting here till you're what, 23?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
There's
I
a
can't-
donut button.
I really want to run.
You'll get as many donuts as you want.
You don't even understand. They're all free.
Huh? Or maybe I'm 23. Like
Tax-
these donut corruption, misusing our funds.
Wait, how much do they spend taxpayer money on donuts?
$700.
It'd be way more than that.
Yeah, no.
How the hell did you all spend $175,000 on donuts? They're pretty good.
They're pretty good. Yeah.
They're pretty good donuts. Oh shit!
All the buttons have powdered sugar on them or something like that.
They don't even wash them. It's just... Okay, so this next clip that we have here is have you looked up anything with the Venezuelan situation or like that?
I have a basic understanding.
So there's a lot of problems going on with the caravan that went down. Not the caravan, but the humanitarian aid that went down there, and it got lit on fire and prevented from getting in there.
I've also read reports that some people are saying the U.S. lied about that.
I guarantee you, this is kind of what this is about. So I'm going to play this one real quick. I think it's like a 30-second clip.
Trump's czar, who's in charge of his Venezuelan policy right now, is Elliot Abrams, who pioneered the strategy of using humanitarian aid as a disguise for delivering weapons to U.S. proxy forces, especially in the light of Abrams' history of using aid as a cover for delivering arms to proxy forces as a violation of Venezuelan sovereignty.
It's literally
as an actual...
So people are talking about in the news and over Twitter and everything that like you're a bad person if you're saying that they possibly are trying to sneak weapons in for rebel groups in Venezuela.
Are.
And it's just ridiculous. Meanwhile, the guy famous for doing that in other countries.
He came up with the plane.
He's the guy who's running the show.
He's like the first dude to do the flea flicker, and they're going maybe he they're like maybe he's doing a flea flicker this time. Maybe he's not. Yeah, no, he invented this shit,
dude. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say the guy that's famous for using humanitarian aid to sneak weapons into rebel groups is using humanitarian aid to sneak in
Why
weapons.
are we always so disguised about it in South America? You know what I mean? We never actually invade. We always just give a private military tons of guns.
We do it everywhere, dude.
No,
we
actually just invade Syria.
We're doing it in Syria right now.
Yeah, but we aren't covert about it. We
went there. We were super converted about it first. And now in Venezuela, we're going to be convert. And then all of a sudden, now you want that oil. You're going to go down and get it.
Always got to be so sneaky. Supposedly it's terrible oil, too. I've read a lot about Venezuela, and their oil it's very expensive. Because it's not very pure.
It's not refined.
You have to spend a lot of money to refine it or whatever.
They just have so much of it and make so much of it.
That's their whole economy they're a one resource economy.
And why was that?
Huh?
And why is that? I'm not saying that you agree with the nationalization of all the stuff, but all those companies.
I thought they at first it worked out really well. It's a horrible idea being a one resource economy because when the market price fluctuates, your country dies.
Yeah,
which is exactly what happened. But before that, they had tons of great social benefit programs and stuff.
Yeah, but what they should have been doing was reinvesting into the oil in order to figure out ways to get it cheaper out of the ground. That way, if something happened, they didn't even think of the future.
You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to. All right, so just a little bit of history. This happens a lot in countries in Africa, which is where they have the rich in one resource, right? And so what that happens is your entire economy is geared towards that resource, and what it actually does is it makes it ripe for dictatorships and corruption because you don't have to spend any money on education. Does that make sense? To mine salt in Egypt, you don't have to have a college degree.
But also the fact,
whereas in a multi-resource country, you have to educate people and take care of them.
Also the fact that when these things happen, they end up being nationalized by the government or the dictator, which doesn't allow. Other companies aren't going to go in there once you've nationalized stuff. They're not going to bring more jobs to the area. So you're stuck with that one resource economy no matter what because you've decided to nationalize this one thing. So people are fearful that you're going to nationalize their shit too whenever the hell you feel like it. So it makes the whole business It's very business unfriendly, so we don't go there, and these people stay poor.
Communist regimes are business unfriendly.
Yes.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the problem with all that kind of shit, though.
Is that you don't want businesses to exploit the people.
You're not exploiting those people. They're being exploited by the local government at that point.
They were being exploited before Chavez.
Yeah, I know, but you also need to figure out. You need to look at the system and how it could be stable for long-term survival as well.
I totally agree. You shouldn't have a one-resource economy.
No, you shouldn't be nationalizing things.
It worked for a little bit.
Parker, I hate that. Well, you know, when I was a kid,
they brought tons of Venezuelans out of poverty.
Artificially,
now they're back in there.
Now they're back in it. Even worse. Yeah. Even worse.
They aren't even worse.
Huh?
Well, they gotta have a regime change, but Maduro.
And here's the thing.
Country's dying.
Yeah, but we shouldn't get involved in that.
Huh?
Sorry, fuck faces. You're the ones that voted the guy in.
Yeah, but we also don't have to recognize Maduro. And the whole point was a lot of the elections were corrupted. There's a whole thing where the one side thought that the first set of elections was unfair.
That sounds like a Venezuelan problem.
But they protested the second vote. You got it. Yeah. I'm definitely not for an invasion.
So the solution isn't like.
But we can recognize a leader that we think.
This is basically what's going on, though. Like, we don't like Maduro because he's dealing with the Russians at this point.
And we don't like communist regimes.
Yeah, Russia gave them a couple $1 billion to keep afloat for a little bit, in exchange for oil fields.
Mm-hmm.
So then America had to be like, well, the oil can't be having Russia over there with that oil. That's not good for us. So they just picked a guy that went to school in America to be the next president. They literally they basically just were like, you know what? We think you're the president.
No, the dude, and then Guaido, he was grassroots. He
Parker.
Yeah, he was.
You can look at polls prior to him being elected that one thing.
Yeah.
Whatever position they have over there, I forget what the position's called. But no one even knew who the guy was prior to that. Then all of a sudden he got all this. Then all of a sudden he got this backed by Pence and started his own movement with that assistance.
No, I don't agree with that timeline. That's not what I read and saw on videos.
Alrighty, Parker.
We gotta look this up. Guaido was I think that's his name.
Yeah, you're right, Guaido.
He was part of he started the resistance, and then government started recognizing him. The U.S. wasn't even the first person to recognize him.
So you're saying they started a small one, and then the U.S. started backing him?
Yeah, well, they started their own coalition of government. They wanted to have an alternative government take over, and then the U.S. was like, "Oh yeah, fuck Maduro. You're our guy now."
Yeah, Maduro's going with the Russians. We want you to go over there and give us the oil.
Isn't it more the Chinese? I thought the Chinese bought a ton of.
Chinese did something recently.
They bought a ton of ports in Venezuela or something.
Yeah, but Russia was the one that opened that floodgate of coming in and assisting, from what I've read.
China's doing this thing too. Have you read about how they? Maybe you're the one that told me about this, but they'll like a lot of countries in Africa, they'll lend them money that they know they can't pay back, and then they go, "Oh, you default on that? Well, it's ours now." And so they own tons of property and resources in like Africa and developing nations.
Yeah, so that's why
which is smart.
Yeah, it's
if
dumb
you're
of
gonna
the
be evil.
It's
if you're
dumb.
gonna be evil, an evil tyrannical power.
It's dumb of that it's dumb of that other country to take that loan out.
Yeah, but they're struggling developing countries.
Hey, you know what you could do? Stop being a fucking dictator and stop nationalizing everything in that area and allow some companies to come in to employ your people.
No, but China does a lot of underhanded shit. They lie about it. They'll be like, "Yo, we're gonna help you with this port. Our estimates, because we're a huge country, like they're talking about small, tiny developing countries in Africa.
Yeah.
They go, we're gonna give you this loan to make this coal factory, and it's gonna make you all this money. You'll pay us back in no time."
And they
but
go,
they lied about how much money it'll make, and then it doesn't make that enough money to even pay off the interest. So they go, "Oh, well, that's our coal factory now. Thanks for building it for us.
Thanks,
it belongs
jackass."
to China now."
Yeah, and then you probably if you look into it more, you probably find something like China put sanctions on the thing. It's like, oh wow, they're just sitting there going, "This is bad.
Yeah.
This is not good."
We're gonna be speaking Chinese soon enough.
I'm fine with it.
Ni hao.
It's a very the language is very
easy to learn?
No, not easy to learn. It's just
It's tonal. It's a tonal language.
like you can go like they go, huh? And you'd be like, what'd he say? And he goes, hello, my name is Jeremy. How are you doing? Would you like to grab? It's just like, oh my god, that is proficient.
Well, because there's so many tones. Like each vowel has a tone. Like if you, I learned a little bit about this for to speak Thai.
Mm-hmm.
Is like if you go me ha like is different than which is different than like
you
your
see,
pitch of your voice.
I'm done with that. I take it back.
I know, yeah.
That's so stupid. See, that's my thing with languages, though. Spanish, I know a little bit of Spanish, and I know English.
Mm-hmm.
In those two languages, and this is probably me being biased towards those two, is in the world, those two languages their words are the only words that actually sound like words. Does that make sense?
No.
Like what I was talking about I sit here and go like, oh, there's a computer. For some reason, that flows off the tongue real well, and I can get somebody from another land to be like, computer. But I gotta do that. Like, all of a sudden, it's like, that's not even a freaking word, dude. Like,
Hello, employers.
I know that's super ignorant, and I'm just trying to play a character here.
Play a character.
But it's like, oh man, I gotta go on my pitch. My pitch changes the meaning of the thing. Nah, I'm out.
Well, my brother did a mission trip in Africa, and he learned I think it was Swahili, and it's a super straightforward language. Like I totally wish I spoke Swahili instead of English. Like if you said like I went in the past to the store, you just go I, and there's just a word for in the past, so you never have to conjugate words. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
You wouldn't have to go, I went. You say, I in the past go store.
That sounds dumb. It's probably...
It's way more efficient.
It probably works. Yeah.
I think it's way more efficient.
It probably is more efficient.
And I think if you're asking a question, there's a word that you just say at the end that is like, this is a question. This sentence is a question.
See, that just seems like... that's annoying. Yeah, I know it's a question. Like, I know you... But English has weird stuff too.
English is the weirdest language.
Like spell live.
It's L-I-V-E.
And spell live.
L-I-V-E.
Yeah, what the fuck? What is that?
Other languages have that too, but it's really like what's a joke is like it's 6 different languages trying to live as one language.
Yeah.
Because you got Germanic and Latin and like Old English. All come into play. You know what I mean?
The cool thing I do like about English though is like live and live, same word. Somehow different thing, but at least it's 4 letters. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Germany, that same word is like this freaking long.
No, that's only certain words.
It's like this long for no reason.
So, what I don't get is why we call this is a weird thing. Why do we call countries names that like they don't call themselves? You know what I mean?
No.
Like Germany is like Deutschland in German.
Oh, I see.
Like why don't we call it Deutschland?
Because we're America. And we don't care. Like that's what it is.
It's so dumb.
We don't give
like,
a fuck.
Japan in Japanese isn't Japan. It's some other word.
Something like that.
Yeah. You know, why don't we call it what they call it?
The funny, oh man.
Unite the world, man. Unite the world.
We're the country that goes, metric system? Nah, we're done.
Fahrenheit is superior to Celsius if you're not doing science. It's so dumb. They'll be like, it's 25 degrees outside. It's super hot. It's 0 degrees. It's freezing cold. Like, but Fahrenheit at least, like, makes sense. You know what I mean?
I guess.
100 degrees is hot. 0 degrees is cold. Boom.
Yeah, the freezing point and the boiling point. It is kind of... Wait, what's the boiling point? The boiling point
32.
Like no, in Fahrenheit.
Oh, it's 212?
Is it 212?
Or
it was like 232 or something.
Maybe. Fahrenheit's based on human beings.
But the boiling point for Celsius is 100.
Yeah.
That seems a little more efficient.
Really, you should be using
because
Kelvin. Kelvin makes the most sense.
No, Kelvin's dumb. I'm dumb.
It's not dumb.
No, I don't like Kelvin.
It makes sense.
I knew a guy named Kelvin one time. He was a bad guy. He was a bad guy.
Right, at least it starts at 0. All right, can we
Isn't 0 is the freezing point in Celsius?
In Celsius.
That makes so much more sense. 0, 100.
Yeah, but in your day-to-day
stuff
life,
freezes, stuff boils.
Day-to-day life, like 15 degrees is cold, 25 degrees is hot. that's so like small of a range.
Can't have everything, Parker.
I can. I will.
I'll have both. Actually,
I have everything. I have Fahrenheit. Yeah. I know Fahrenheit and Celsius. Not that hard.
You're right. You're right.
It's like meters. Meters are cool for stuff, but measuring someone's height in meters,
that is ridiculous.
2.5 meters. Like what the fuck?
Or kilograms.
People use people in like England and stuff still use feet to say how tall someone is. Like about 5'6".
They're rebelling.
Well,
they're rebelling against it.
Yeah, it sounds so dumb. Yeah, he's about 2.73 meters tall.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna go back home. Yeah. I'm gonna go back home. I'm not dealing with this today. What else? Oh, okay. This is I believe the last video that we got.
Okay.
This is just a recent, pretty much beating from cops on this guy they chased, and I just want to see like, at what point are you okay with the level of brutality that they use, and at what point do you go, okay, that's enough?
You want me to say when I go, that's enough?
Yes.
Okay. This is the... What the fuck?
See, there was a crash. They crashed. Now they went on a high-speed chase. There's probably like 5 cars after this guy.
Well, the old wisdom is if you make the cops chase you, they're gonna beat the shit out of you.
Right, and that's
which I don't agree with. But
so check this. They're gonna pull him out. I'm fine with everything at this point.
Hold on. Let me just say it because you've seen this already.
Mm-hmm.
So his car, like he's fucked. So he just had a massive crash.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that guy's probably has like a concussion and shit.
Yanking him out.
What the fuck?
Right?
Okay.
Now you
Jesus
got him.
Christ.
Now but what's going
Hold on
now?
I can't really see much. I can't really see anything.
Oh, kicking him.
Are they kicking him?
Yeah, they're punching him. They're kicking him.
All right, yeah, that's enough. That's
back.
too much. That's too much. I saw the cop in the back. That's way too much.
Like you got him.
Yeah. Do they keep going?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I already stopped. He's donezo.
Yep, they got him apprehended. Oh hey guy, gonna check you out here.
What?
You doing
knee
all right?
on the knee on the back?
Their
like,
knee on his back. Hey,
Jesus Christ!
Just want to check you out real quick. What you doing, guy? Up.
What?
Up. Just beating
Fuck
the shit
that.
out of him. For those of you that are just listening and don't have the video, they literally yanked this guy out of the car,
violently,
threw him several feet,
yeah.
began kicking him while he's basically unconscious. His pants are down now, and then they came back later. One cop puts a knee on his back, and then proceeds to.
He's already handcuffed at this point.
Yeah,
he's already immobile.
Proceeds to start.
Did you see the one cop fell over? He was trying to beat him so hard.
Did he?
Hold on. Play it again. This is hard to watch, but
no, it is hard to watch. This is disgusting.
I mean, it's hard to watch because of the terrible technique. Get him in mount. No.
Get him in mount.
Sorry. Horrible. This is ridiculous.
Khabib Nurmagomedov. Yeah. This guy goes full Khabib here in a second.
Hold on. Watch the guy in the back. I swear to God, he falls over.
Dude, this is the
Also, look
right
at that
here.
cop on the
hell
right. The cop on the right just fell over too. Did he get in a crash?
These guys are out of shape.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's so
1,
fucking
2,
brutal, man.
3, 4.
Jesus Christ.
It's like,
and you know from watching UFC,
6,
one
7,
of those punches
8,
can knock someone out. Those are ridiculous.
It might be like 10 punches to the face.
Oh, dude, look, the guy just fell over because he tried to throw him or whatever.
And this cop's just kicked him 17 times.
And
I'm
that
tired.
cop has to take a break. He's lying down because he got winded from beating the shit out of him.
Every single one of these cops should be fired.
Yo, yeah.
And it gets ridiculous too. Like you would think, the incompetency of a lot of cops is a struggle to get over. And you think it's because we don't pay them enough that people don't want to go get involved?
It's hard to find them.
Yeah, like people don't want to be cops.
A lot of cities have horrible cops. Not that all cops are bad, but they have tons of bad cops.
Right.
And they don't have enough cops.
Yeah.
So they've already hired, like,
and it's hard to get
they've already gone, all right, we're going to even hire the bad ones. And
it's hard to get rid of them, yeah.
Supposedly, too, a lot of places have IQ tests for cops, and you can't be a cop if you have over a certain amount, if you're too smart.
Over?
Yeah.
That seems like that's the opposite of how it should be.
No, it's true. A lot of A lot of police stations have it, so you have to be
You got to be a certain amount of dumb.
Yeah.
In order to go out, and that's why you got people getting beat like this.
Yeah.
Also, and I think, and people always talk about this like militarizing the police, but I think that you should bring some of these people back from wars that we have or military bases and have them be cops. Give them a job in that, pay them more money than they are currently. And one, they all would be proficient in hand-to-hand combat, because that's what they get trained up on. They'd be proficient in their weapons and how to deal with high-pressure situations like that. You would have less accidental shootings. You would have less bullshit like this, I think.
But I think people want more... It should be like the Shaolin Temple, where...
Just
hold on. The people that... So they had to have people to defend the Shaolin Temple, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you were chosen to learn Kung Fu and stuff, if you were the most peaceful, like if you're looking to fight people, like you can't... They don't teach you Kung Fu. But if you're like, I would never hurt a fly. They're like, you're defending the temple now, buddy, because it leads to less like abuse and stuff. I think that's the problem is people don't want highly physically skilled or good at handling weapons as cops anymore. They just want good people.
But what I've learned
also,
in life...
I just looked it up. New York bars police officers with too high IQ.
Does it give the IQ?
I think it's... 125, which is
pretty smart.
That's like over 2 standard deviations.
You would want that guy to be a detective.
Huh? Yeah, exactly. But it's still ridiculous that you have to. If you're so smart, you can't be a cop. You know.
Well, speaking of detectives, I'm working on a bit right now.
Yeah.
Where a couple women I know are they're very into Instagram and knowing what everyone's doing just immediately. So these 2 girls back in the day stopped being friends. And I didn't know. I didn't look around this. And then my friend Lauren just goes, "Did you know that yada yada and yada yada aren't friends anymore?" I was like, "You're not even friends with them. Like, how do you know that?" She goes, "It's like I was on Instagram and I've noticed they hadn't even had a picture together in like a week, and they haven't liked each other's pictures in like 2 weeks, and they never go over 4 days." Like, I was like, one,
that's ridiculous.
What is wrong with you? And 2, every detective should be a woman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If we just gave 9 women in each state iPhones with access to everyone's Instagram accounts and everything else, we could get rid of the NSA tomorrow.
That's hilarious.
You would save so much money.
Yeah, but I can just imagine in court, like, on December 12th, did you like any of Susie's pictures? No, Your Honor. Guilty! She's guilty! Lock her up!
You ready to...
Throw away the key.
You want to call it on that?
I thought we had something else.
Well, we want to talk something more.
We gotta talk about, what about AOC? What did AOC say?
Oh, she was just having some comments on how capitalism is irredeemable. I had an article printed out, but I don't have it right now.
Capitalism is inherently immoral.
But everything that she was talking about were problems with government getting involved in capitalism. Like she's talking about redlining.
Redlining.
Back in the day, it's like, dummy, that's not capitalism.
Well, it's not free market capitalism.
It's not even capitalism.
Which you could say never existed too, Ryan Grimes.
It did for a short time.
When?
Right before 1913, before we centralized the monetary system. Eat it. Got dates and everything. I'm prepared for this battle.
You're one of those people that, I forgot, you hate like centralized banking, don't you?
Yeah, because they can control
the interest rate. You have to control your interest rate.
No, you need to let it...
What do you do when there's a recession then?
Oh my God, Parker.
If you can't control the interest rate, you have bank panics.
But no, you get bank panics because you've artificially lowered the interest rate to very low, where people are getting fucked up signals from the economy, and they're misallocating resources by taking out investments that shouldn't be invested in at this point in time.
Yeah, but that helps the economy.
No, the economy overexpands, and that's how you get these collapses.
Not during a recession.
That's when we get these collapses, and you get worse recessions, and you get depressions.
You're supposed to have. There's only ever been one depression.
You get worse recessions and a depression. What?
Recessions are a healthy part of an economy that happen even without.
Not these huge recessions that
we've had one huge recession.
A recession is when people are allocating the resources in different manners, and the economy is changing to different industries. That's
just
that's
when the
natural.
economy shrinks for 2 consecutive quarters.
But why is it shrinking? It's because people are taking money out of a certain
because it
sector
runs in cycles, dude.
and putting it into a new sector that is better, more efficient, and making more money and being more helpful to people's standard of living.
Not always.
The majority of that
dot-com bubble, that was people allocating it into new stuff.
We were artificially lowering interest rates then too, so more people got into that kind of shit. Because they get these.
This is what you're supposed to do, Ryan. No one ever does it like this, but this is what you're supposed to do. When you have a booming economy, you have high interest rates, so people stop spending so much. So things cool down. They call it cooling down, so you don't overexpand.
We're saying
and
the
then
same.
when you have an eventual recession, which always happens, it's impossible to predict them, but just by the law of averages, sometimes stuff's going to go bad.
It should be.
That's
good.
when you lower interest rates, so people start spending more, which increases GDP, real GDP, because supply meets demand at preset prices. Keynes. Keynes.
But you know what? What happens instead?
What?
They artificially lower the interest rates up for down for an extremely long time. They get these fake booms just to get reelected again, to act like everything's going fine, and they never pay off their debts, and they don't bring the interest rates up until it's too late, and it fucking crashes everything because people have misallocated their resources to a certain point that it's crazy, and then everyone goes out of business, and then you have the worst recessions and the depressions. Eat it!
No,
Eat
our
it!
economy's fine right now.
It is not fine right now.
We have the lowest unemployment ever.
Oh my god. We have the same type of bubble we had in 2007 before the housing collapse, but now we have it in bonds. We have it in housing. We have it in freaking everything now, just like China.
Are you talking about credit? Are you literally against the concept of credit?
I'm not against the concept of credit.
Every time you have credit, you're gonna have bubbles.
Oh my god, Parker, I'm talking about the size of the bubbles by keeping the interest rates down artificially low.
Oh yeah, they should have raised interest rates a long time ago. I agree with that.
But I'm saying when it gets centralized like that, that's when it's based on more corruption.
But when you don't have a centralized one, when you have a recession, it's worse because you can't get out of the recession.
No.
Because everything just shrinks. It literally happened in Greece. They don't have control over their monetary policy, so their economy keeps shrinking and they can't do anything about it.
And that is because of the things that occurred prior when government got involved. All these things you keep talking about, government got involved. Government got involved prior to these Great Depressions and everything, and lowered those interest rates to the point where we overexpanded, or they started guaranteeing people's deposits, and then people had lax.
I'm gonna find one problem that wasn't due to government intervention. I'm gonna come with that's gonna be the new bit each week. So I'm gonna come up with new stuff, and you have to tell me how it's the cause of government regulation. Or whatever.
I will, sir.
Huh?
But okay, that sounds good. So this is what we should do for next week. Research that.
Yeah.
Or we'll do this in a few weeks because we have a guest.
Yeah, we have guests.
Next week, we have a guest next week and the week after, and then we'll do our debate.
No,
3 weeks.
I want to have Baxley on soon.
Do it in 4 weeks.
Okay.
I mean, Baxley in 4 weeks.
No, fuck that.
Okay, fine. We'll do guests the next 3 weeks.
I can't read these Facebook statuses anymore without some context.
Stop up against that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that has been preferably biased. I think this was a productive episode,
It was a good one.
sir. Very good. Tiny man, his hands are tiny.
Yeah, they're tiny.
But
tiny hands.
please like, share, subscribe. We really appreciate any way to get our content out there to people. Soon we'll be having our podcast on Podbean, iTunes, and numerous other things just for the audio listeners. So keep in touch, like, share, subscribe. Enjoy your day.